In a small town living rough, times were hard and life was tough. On the porch we'd find our peace, talking about the land of the free. Stars and stripes in the sky, blue and red lines standing high. But beneath the freedom's call lies the story of us all. A conversation with the Mutts, just a whisper in our thoughts, talking about the dreams we chase in this vast American space. The roads we walk, they're cracked and dry, still we look up at the sky with hope that never dies, and tears that fill our eyes. Thunderstorms and desert plains, echoes of our joys and pains. From the heartland to the coast, it's the simple things we toast. The conversation with the Mutts, just a whisper in our thoughts, talking about the dreams we chase in this vast American space. The roads we walk, they're cracked and dry, still we look up at the sky with hope that never dies, and tears that fill our eyes. We're fast American space.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Celtic Mutt, and this is a conversation with the Mutts. And joining me tonight, as always, is
Mrs. Mutt.
Tonight we are going to discuss the history of the Secret Service. Now, I know that some of you joined us last week, and we were doing that same topic, but due to unforeseen events, we changed the subject last minute. So we figured we'd go ahead and give you good folks what we've found on the topic that we had told you about originally. And of course, no discussion of the Secret Service is complete without its own controversy, as I explained last week.
Bear with me, honey, because somewhere my notes have gone wandering.
Okay, well, Mrs. Mutt is having a technical issue at the moment, apparently.
If that's what you want to call it.
I am calling it that. Anyway, there are two given explanations of when the Secret Service actually started. The Secret Service was, the first one is that the Secret Service was formed on July 5th, 1865 as part of the Department of the Treasury, with its very first chief, now director, is as title of William P. Wood. But I have found that Abraham Lincoln had actually, and I'm scrolling now, had actually dubbed Alan Pinkerton of the Pinkerton Investigative Services as the first chief of the Secret Service in 1861, a good 4 years prior to the aforementioned date that I gave you. So again, it's just a little bit of a interesting controversy there as to when it actually became the Secret Service and who was its original, first chief.
I found my notes.
Good.
I found something slightly different, if you will.
Oh, great. So we've got even more of a controversy. Right. Great. I love this.
I have, and this is, now granted, I don't know your sources, but this is...
Well, let me answer you on that. My first source was actually from the Secret Service.gov site of the 1860, of the July 5th date. And the Pinkerton site is the source for Pinkerton, the Pinkerton of Alan Pinkerton. So take that as you will.
Well, my site, which mentalfloss.com, actually spoke with a former agent along with 2 journalists. And what they had said was actually on the day he was shot and killed by John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln approved the formation of the Secret Service.
Now, what you and I had discussed was that prior to him being shot, which I tend to believe that if that's the case, that if it was
serendipitous,
perhaps, but I can't see him being shot in the back of the head, point blank range, and then forming
the flexible bullet.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we've already got one magic bullet theory. This would be a bit of a stretch for me. So I'm thinking if he did form it on the day he was shot, it was prior.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I can't see. Wait, I know. It was Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Yep.
That's what it was. That's what it was. And for those of you who don't know, there is actually a movie called...
A book and a movie.
A book and a movie called Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. That's the joke that I had to make. I'm sorry. Go ahead, honey.
No, that's really all I have. Now, I have in 1901, after the assassination of McKinley, Congress extended their duties to involve the protection of the president.
Yes. And only the president.
Right. It wasn't until later that they...
It was actually not until, and I have that, the very first lady to actually receive Secret Service protection was Eleanor Roosevelt. However, it's important to note that she intentionally refused the protection initially refused the protection and carried with her a .22 everywhere she went. It wasn't it was a bit later that she relented and conceded to having the protection detail attached to her. So there's a little bit of history for you folks.
Yeah. Mutt has history of the organization.
Yes.
I have more secrets and tidbits of information on it. I have also qualifications for each of the four tiers. For example,
see, I didn't know that there were 4 tiers until you mentioned that. I did not realize that.
They're not telling me the specific title of the first tier. So I don't know if this is just everybody has to have this, and then there's 3 tiers, or if there's 4 tiers, and this is this is the first tier, and then. But you have to be a U.S. citizen, at least 21 years of age at the time of application, and younger than 37 upon receipt of conditional offer of employment to continue in the application process.
So between 21 and 37.
Right. Huh. Applicants with veterans preference must be at least 21 years of age at the time of application and younger than 40
Oh, okay. So,
on receipt of conditional offer of
so they're
employment.
giving it an additional 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They must possess a current driver's license,
That makes
possess
sense.
uncorrected visual acuity of no worse than 2010 binocular, possess corrected visual acuity of 20/20 or better in each eye. That said, LASIK, ALK, which I'm not sure what that is, RK, I again don't know, and PRK, clueless. Corrective eye surgeries are acceptable eye surgeries for special agent applicants.
Didn't know that.
Applicants will be considered eligible for the special agent position provided specific visual tests are passed. So there are waiting periods for visual tests, such as the LASIK. There's a 2 months after the surgery. The PRK, it's a 6-month waiting period. The ALK and the RK, you're waiting for a year.
Huh.
You have to pass a hearing exam.
That leaves us both out.
Yep. Hearing loss as measured by an audiometer must not exceed 25 decibels. This also leaves us both out. Have no visible body markings. Actually, we might be able to get away with this because if it's covered, I think we're okay. The Secret Service prohibits employees from having visible body markings, including, but not limited to, tattoos, body art. I'm not sure what the difference is between those two.
I'm not sure either.
And branding, unless they're considering body art as piercings.
Perhaps.
On the head, face, neck, hands, and fingers. So actually, we're still okay.
Yeah.
Any area below the wrist bone, exception, a single conservative and unobtrusive tattoo in the form of a ring, i.e. wedding band, is authorized on one finger. If you have visible body markings, you will be required to medically remove such visible body markings at your own expense to enter on duty with the Secret Service prior to entering.
Am I supposed to have the scar on my neck removed?
No.
It's a body marking.
Yes, but it's not a cosmetic.
No. Okay, so there's the difference. You're talking strictly cosmetic. You're not talking scars.
From this, it looks like cosmetic that you made by choice.
Okay.
You must be in excellent health and physical condition and pass an applicant physical abilities test. Ability for top secret clearance, and undergo a complete background investigation, including driving record check, drug screening, medical, and polygraph exams.
Oh, I'm out.
Sign a mobility agreement stating your willingness to accept assignments anywhere within the United States and overseas. Certify that you have been registered with Selective Service System or are exempt from having to do so. If you were a male applicant born after December 31st, 1959, be appointed to this position under...
Wait. 1959? Wait, you said after 1959.
Yeah, it's in.
So, okay, because you're talking...
You have to show if you're exempt.
But what I'm saying is if you're if you're born in 1960, you're not between 21 and 40.
But you have to show that you registered or that you were exempt.
You're not following what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. If you were born in 1960, you're well past
the
age requirement.
To be an applicant.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, I just think it's funny. I just thought it was odd.
Be appointed to this position under an accepted appointment. which is limited to 3 years and 120 days. Upon completion of this period, you will either be converted to career status or separated based on the expiration of the appointment. Carry and use a firearm. Maintaining firearm proficiency is mandatory. You will be ineligible to occupy this position if at any time you have been convicted of a misdemeanor crime or domestic violence, unless you receive a pardon or your conviction was expunged, or set aside. Now, in addition to these, to qualify for GL07 or the GL09, which has a starting salary of $49,500, you have to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university with superior academic achievement based on class standing, grade point average, or honor society membership.
So let me ask this question. Does it specify what the degree has to be in?
No, it doesn't. It does say more information on SAA, which is the superior academic achievement, click here.
So, I mean, the Secret Service now could have easily taken a liberal arts degree, gone and gotten a degree. It doesn't say
it has to be in criminal justice or something like that.
So they could have taken underwater basket weaving and be
right.
That's crazy.
At least one full year of graduate level education, i.e., 18 semester hours. At least 1 year of specialized experience in or related to the investigative methods, protective methods, and law enforcement techniques that provided the specific competencies to successfully perform the position's duties. Experience includes the exercising of initiative, attention to detail, and judgment in collecting, assembling, and developing facts, evidence, or other pertinent data. The ability to analyze and evaluate data or evidence to arrive at sound conclusions, including applying new information. The ability to partner with or lead others in the accomplishment of mission activities. To qualify specific for the GL09, which actually has a starting salary of $55,200, applicants must possess one of the following: either a master's degree or equivalent, such as an LLB or JD, or 2 figures of progressively higher level graduate education in a related field leading to such a degree from an accredited college or university, or at least 1 year of specialized experience equivalent to a GL7 level. And then there's or a combination of specialized experience as described above and related graduate level education beyond the first full year of graduate level study. Then you have the GS11 with a starting salary of $64,000. They have to have a PhD or equivalent, 3 full years of it, progressively higher level graduate education leading to such degree. And I have no idea what an LLM is.
I don't know either.
Have at least 1 year of specialized experience equivalent to the GL9 level. A combination. They have to have one of the following.
Right.
And then we go into so those are the qualifications.
Okay. My question is a little more relaxed. And it was one you brought up in our discussion last week. I really want to know. Can the president order his own pizza?
You want to know? Let me get down to that article and we'll start.
I want to know if he does. And And if he does he put pineapple, which does not belong on pizza, on his
Well,
pizza?
first of all, that depends on the president.
That's-
That's up to him.
That's true. But
Um,
he would still be wrong.
First of all, I can tell you one thing that they travel with. The Secret Service actually travels with bags of the president's blood.
I believe that. In case he needs to have a transfusion.
Right. They never have to worry about contamination of the blood.
Mm-mm.
It always matches the blood type. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many things that
That makes sense.
simplifies. They make sure the president is never alone, even if in the bathroom. I told you.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So the man can't even take a deuce?
Nope. Being on protective detail means following the president wherever he or she may go. This includes the bathroom, the doctor's office, or anywhere that might benefit from a little privacy.
Wow.
The president is never alone, Robinson says. When Reagan was in office, Joe was there for his prostate exams and colonoscopies. He was always in the room with a gun. And if he thought the doctor was any kind of threat, he would have shot him.
Oh boy, I could have used that a couple of times in my life. But anyway,
They interview potential assassins.
really?
Yeah. While making a threat against the president's life is never a good idea, it's up to agents to determine whether you should be warned, committed to psychiatric evaluation, or charged with a Class E felony.
You still haven't answered my question.
What?
Can he order his own
We'll
pizza?
get there. According to 23-year Secret Service veteran Tim Wood, author of Criminals and President, The Adventures of a Secret Service Agent, this is called protective intelligence. Anytime someone makes a suggestion of wanting to cause the president harm, every aspect of their lives will be investigated.
So you brought up an interesting point. The
Mhm.
president is never alone.
Right.
What if he and his wife want to?
He's still not alone. He's got his wife.
Okay, so
And they're in the White House.
so
Which is
with
a secure
but would the
building.
would the president be? I mean, not the president, but would the Secret Service be outside the door?
I would imagine in the White House they would give them some sort of privacy there.
I mean, could you imagine?
I mean, hello, the man's gonna get a shower. He's not gonna have a Secret Service agent standing in the shower with him.
It says he has to be
Hey
in the
Bob,
room.
hand me the soap. Can you scrub my back? You know, I don't see
Says he
that
has to be.
happening.
Says he has to be in the room. Doesn't say he has to. Be. Wow.
Yeah, I think there are some limits. So yeah, when someone makes a suggestion of wanting to harm the president, they investigate every aspect of that person's life.
I'm sure.
They said they interview friends, neighbors, associates, employees. The question is this person serious? When Wood interviewed a man who had made repeated calls threatening Reagan's life, he determined the subject had an alcohol problem and possibly mental illness, sparing him serious prosecution.
We're not talking about Hinckley, are we?
He didn't say.
Because I have a
I
note.
don't think that was Hinckley because I think that would have.
Because I have.
They never prosecuted.
I have. Well, I have an interesting note on. I have a couple of interesting notes on Hinckley if he comes up in conversation in a little bit. Oh, I'm dying to know. Does he get to order his own pizza or not? Dang gum.
The Secret Service can be ordered to protect anyone.
Including the dog.
So the president and vice president don't have the ability to refuse Secret Service supervision once they take office. Although some can switch to private security detail.
I have a bit of, you were talking about the vice president. Did you know that the vice president did not receive Secret Service protection until 1967? Wait, let me double check that. Run to include detecting. Okay, yeah, I believe it was 1967. Double checking that now. I have had another note up, but yeah, I have that here.
The president and vice president have a say in whether someone else can be assigned Secret Service protection.
Okay, so yeah, it was 1967. Protection was extended to the widow and minor children of a former president until March 1969.
Hello, Steel and Tree.
Mrs. Kennedy and Children, Public Law 90-145, and it was 1968, I believe. We will get to that, but yeah, the VP didn't always have presidential protection or Secret Service protection.
Well, after the September 11th attacks, George W. Bush actually had some Secret Service agents escort some White House staff members.
I believe it.
They film the president in case something happens. So
What are you gonna do?
I believe he's under, anytime he's out and about, I believe he's being recorded.
So what you're telling me
all
is
of the controversy it created, the Zapruder film of the 1963 John F. Kennedy assassination was invaluable in helping the Secret Service understand how quickly a situation can spin out of control.
the very first, technically the second
Assassination?
second magic bullet. If our earlier conversation is to be believed.
To this day, agents still screen the footage as part of their training. According to Kessler, they also film current presidential motorcades in the event they need to review an attack. Recently, someone threw something at Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. They were able to locate that person thanks to the video. Now, here you go, honey.
Yes.
And for anybody out there chomping at the bit to know the answer,
I want to know.
if you send the president a Christmas ham, a fruit cake,
It gets pitched.
yes, it does.
That doesn't answer my question.
It will.
Okay.
Every bite of food presented to the president is prepared under the watchful eye of the Secret Service, who stare down White House chefs to make sure no one is flavoring with arsenic or rat poison. When the president travels, Navy stewards come along to prepare food. And when the president has a photo op at a dinner and orders food, it's not likely he's going to eat it. Surprisingly, it is still possible to just order a pizza. If the president wants a pizza, they'll have it delivered to the Naval Observatory or another address nearby. Since the pizzeria doesn't know who it's for, it reduces the danger.
Wow. Makes me not want to ever be president. Thank you very much.
Yeah, imagine something, order it, it gets to the observatory and the guys are too busy doing something else and your pizza sits here for 30 minutes.
And it's free.
No, because it's been delivered to the observatory.
It's probably still free
It's
anyway.
the guys at the observatory.
It's probably still free anyway. But anyway.
Hotels hate Secret Service.
Why is that?
When the president travels, the Secret Service kicks into overdrive, scouting hotel destinations in an attempt to control a foreign environment. Hotel employees who will be in contact with the government entourage are subject to background checks. If anyone has a criminal history, the hotel manager will ask them not to come in that day. The Secret Service will also take over entire floors above and below the president and commandeer elevators for their own private use, which can disrupt a hotel's business.
Very much so.
They'll even keep an elevator repairman on standby in event the POTUS gets stuck.
Damn.
They have a way of tracking you.
Of course they do.
Yeah, but it's not high tech. It's not your cell phone.
Okay, so tell us.
It's actually something that's in many people's desk drawers right now.
What's that?
It's their pens.
You can track me with my
It's
pen?
the ink in the pen. The ink manufacturer maintains a vast database, with the Secret Service working in tandem with the ink manufacturer. Maintains a vast database of distinctive tags in the ink that can be identified and narrowed to the brand and where in the country it's sold.
You know how you get around that? Now, this is well pre-planned. You go to different cities and you buy pens, and literally
1 letter at a time using
one letter at a time with each individual pen.
And they base using none of the pens from your own area.
Oh no, you would definitely use a pen from your own area.
No, because they're gonna pick a letter. They're not necessarily going to test the ink from every letter.
Well, what are the odds if you're writing a prolonged letter and you're doing it with several, 100 different pens, that they're going to pick your?
Yes,
they would literally have to test every pen or every letter.
They just test the envelope, for example, that limits a lot of the options.
Maybe. Anyway, come on. We're not planning any of this, so it's kind of a moot point.
Working the rope, quote unquote, is the most nerve-wracking part of the job.
The meet and greet.
They say no other detail duty is quite as stressful as dealing with impromptu presidential greetings with private citizens standing behind a roped off area. That's where agents earn their money. You have no idea what an uncontrollable crowd might do. To minimize stress, agents are constantly scanning for hands stuffed in pockets or other signs of suspicious activity. Their omnipresent sunglasses, those are for crowd scanning without tipping off potential suspects and to ward off any liquids or other projectiles thrown in their direction.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense.
They tend to pick up new hobbies.
New hobbies?
New hobbies.
Okay.
Because the president is never without an escort, Secret Service agents are often forced to learn new hobbies. Wood, for example, didn't have any experience riding horses when he accompanied Bill Clinton for rides during his 2 terms. Fortunately, Clinton was not a master horseman like Reagan, so it was just a simple trail ride, Wood says. But Clinton was a well-conditioned jogger. which forced agents to be in great shape in order to be able to keep up, pardon me. You're doing your job while running for 5 miles, Wood says.
They should be in shape anyway. I'm sorry.
Yes, but there's being in shape and then being in shape to take a 5-mile run. There's different
I get
skills.
it. Yeah, no, I get it. And you made a valid point about the whole riding a horse thing. No.
Well, I know we stick to American stuff, but one of the things that caused Diana a problem with the Queen,
Well, she doesn't like horses.
she was thrown from a horse when she was young.
See, I knew I liked Diana for a reason.
So she was wary. Now, Fergie
Oh yeah, Fergie
loved horses.
Yeah, Fergie was.
So that was a bonding thing between her and the Queen.
Yeah.
Did you know there's actually no sworn oath to die for the president?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Despite Hollywood's depictions of life in the service, they never have to explicitly swear to give up their life in order to protect the president. For you 007 fans, their limo is straight out of a James Bond movie.
Yeah, no, I've seen video. Yeah, they don't obviously tell you everything, but yeah.
It says when the president is on the road, he's typically in a very heavily armored limousine.
Yep.
That's flat tire proof, bulletproof, and driven by agents with extensive experience in defensive driving. According to Wood, agents are trained to perform a 180-degree turn in the event of a roadblock or explosion. Both the limo and other vehicles used by the president are serviced by a secret service garage, which makes modifications to commercial vehicles to make them more attack resistant.
Mm.
Well, they may not have to take the oath to die for the president,
Right.
but they do have to get shot with fake bullets.
Yeah, rubber bullets.
In order to prepare for any eventuality, they undergo regular and rigorous scenario training,
That makes sense.
with an agent acting as a stand-in for the president while other agents try to navigate threats. To make the simulation effective, the training incorporates non-lethal marking rounds or plastic bullets that leave a colored trace and a superficial sting.
They're using paintballs.
Instead of a blank going off, you know if you've been hit
100%.
or where you hit your target.
If they're using anything like a paintball, you better believe that they know they've been hit.
And without the armor, for a better way to put it, for going to the paintball range, you're gonna end up with some bruising.
I've actually bled playing paintball. I had somebody shoot me point blank range in the face, and I wasn't wearing a face mask, and he busted my lip wide open. So yeah, paintball is
It wasn't the president, it was the vice president, it was Mondale. But one particular Secret Service agent got to tell him no.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The quickest way to annoy a Secret Service agent? Ask them to carry your luggage or grocery bags. Walter Mondale once asked an agent to pick up his laundry. Robinson says, which is he's one of the sources for this particular article, says they don't do that.
Mm.
I'm sorry, sir. We don't do that. I'm here to protect you, not carry your laundry.
Okay, fine. What else you got?
Oh, I've got more.
Go for it.
This one is from howstuffworks.com. And it's 8 secrets that you didn't know about the Secret Service.
What's that? Tell me those 8 secrets. I want to know.
It's not quite like what you see on the big screen.
Yeah.
Only about 3,600 of the 7,000 plus Secret Service employees are the stern-looking bodyguards known as special agents that protect the president and other select government officials.
I believe the current administration. Give me just a minute, and I'll give you the numbers for the current administration if you like. I do have those. They are part of my notes. I've got to scroll to the bottom again, folks. I'm sorry.
I unfortunately don't know when these numbers were calculated, so these numbers may not line up with the current numbers.
Right. No, these are the current. These are the current numbers. Current agency composed of more than 7,800 special agents, uniform division officers, technical law enforcement officers, and administrative professionals and technical professionals.
Okay, so
personnel.
over 7,000 total.
So 7,800.
So,
yeah.
right, and this is about 3,600 of that 7,000 plus.
Right.
Are known as special agents.
And that was as of July 23rd, 2024.
Right.
By the way.
And again, based on that over 7,000, we have some 1,650 Secret Service employees are uniformed division officers whose duty is to securely lock down the venues, wherever they might be, where the president and other officials appear.
Well, we all know that they dropped the ball in Butler, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The uniform division is responsible for security at the White House, too, the Naval Observatory, which is the residence of the Vice President, the Treasury Department.
Wait. Stop.
I know, that doesn't make sense.
What you're telling me is that they delivered the pizza to the Vice President's house. All righty then. Okay.
I don't get that.
They delivered to the and with this current administration, that could be, I'm just saying, that could be interesting, considering how much they actually don't care for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just found that kind of odd.
Yeah.
When you pointed that out.
Yeah, the Treasury Department and other places like foreign embassies in D.C. Yet another 2,300 or so provide technical law enforcement or other behind-the-scenes support. Things like figuring out the safest route for motorcades, the best and most secure way to fit the Beast.
Excuse me.
Which is a recent name for the president's main limousine.
The Beast, yes, I've heard
How
that.
to avoid chemical attacks, and the more mundane governmental work of filing expense reports and answering questions from officers or agents who have trouble signing into their laptops. Most USS personnel are not hanging out with the president. It's hardly the stuff of Olympus Has Fallen or White House Down. Safeguarding money is a big part of the Secret Service's duty.
Well, that's because it was initially a part of the Treasury.
Right.
When it was first founded.
Now, here I have more about this. Says that the USS, the Secret Service, was formed in 1865. It was a bureau of the Treasury Department.
Mm-hmm.
Its mission was to battle widespread counterfeiting.
Yes.
At the end of the Civil War, nearly a third of all currency in circulation in the U.S. was fake. The Secret Service was there to help stabilize the financial system by ridding the country of counterfeiters. Yeah, not exactly in the line of fire either.
And then in 1866, that it was their duties were extended to investigating the Klan.
I'm not seeing that in here, but
No, it's in my notes.
It says still it's important stuff and a key pillar in the social service, secret services dual mission, which is protection of the government's top dogs and investigation of crimes regarding the financial system of at home and abroad. The people of the agency take both missions very seriously. How important can guarding money really be? According to a social service spokesman, this is straight from an email, Over the past decade, the Secret Service has made approximately 50,000 arrests for counterfeiting, cyber and financial crimes, and seized 1.8 billion, with a B as in boy, in counterfeit currency. The Secret Service has also prevented potential loss of approximately 53 billion. The B, as you might have figured, means billions. So yeah, important. So does the Secret Service still report to Treasury? No.
Nope.
On March 1st, 2003, the Secret Service was transferred to the newly formed Department of Homeland Security, which now seems a better fit. But the Secret Service is still all over protecting the financial infrastructure of the nation. Secret Service agents are still the stars. As Clint Eastwood, Gerard Butler, Channing Tatum, and many other Hollywood types have shown, you can't get past the very American coolness that is part of being a Secret Service special agent. They are the very real people willing to take a bullet to save others' lives. Certainly, it's not all that exciting all the time. The best way to sum up being a Secret Service agent, former agent Jonathan Wackrow, who spent 14 years with the service, more than 4 of them on protective detail of then-President Barack Obama, told Vanity Fair, is prolonged periods of boredom only broken up by moments of sheer terror. Secret Service agents saved Ronald Reagan in an assassination attempt in 1981. They helped Jackie back into the convertible when John F. Kennedy was shot in 1963. They wrapped up presidential candidate Donald Trump and brushed him off the stage when someone shouted "gun" at a rally in 2016. They're there on Inauguration Day, providing a human shield as the president almost invariably takes a stroll down Pennsylvania Avenue. It's pretty slow when it's not terrifying, but the pressure at all times is outrageous. The Secret Service has a zero-failed mission. Lieutenant Christopher Fagan told a bunch of Secret Service rookies at a Business Insider video. What that means in layman's terms, ladies and gentlemen, is this. You don't get a bad day in the Secret Service. If you have a bad day and you don't do your job,
somebody dies.
You're going to change the world. And he doesn't mean for the better. Agents started protecting the president in the 20th century. It wasn't until the assassination of President William McKinley in 1901 that the Secret Service was tasked with protecting the president. Quick aside, under It's Not Like This Anymore, McKinley was shot twice in the abdomen by anarchist Leon. That's got 2 Z's in it.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce that. CZOLGOSZ.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not going to try. The president died 8 days later. The anarchist his trial started 9 days after McKinley's death and lasted 3 days.
Mm.
The murderer was hanged less than 2 months after the attack. Becoming a special agent isn't easy. It's been reported that only about 1 out of 100 applicants makes it to special agent training. And a lot of them wash out once they get to the James J. Rowley Training Center in Laurel, Maryland. All recruits go through a 6-month training program after they're thoroughly vetted. They're given a polygraph. They go through firearms training, driver's training, where they're taught things like evasive maneuvering, hand-to-hand combat training, your basic federal law enforcement training. Once they make it that far, they spend 3 to 5 years in a field office, at home or abroad, and only then, maybe, do they move into the second phase of the career in a protective division assignment. The best go on to the presidential protective division, where most serve a minimum of 6 years. Do you want to ask something? Say something?
No.
Oh.
You're good. Continue.
They're tough and cool, but not enough for tattoos. That's right. Mostly. If you have any visible body markings, you will be required to medically remove such visible markings at your own expense prior to entering on duty with the Secret Service.
Which is something we covered earlier.
When asked about the tattoo taboo, the Secret Service spokesman emailed the U.S. Secret Service, similar to other law enforcement agencies, has a uniform standard of dress to which employees are held. And that's all there is to that.
Huh.
This will get you though. Number 7 on our list.
Yeah.
They can have a drug-packed past, though.
Seriously.
Prior marijuana use or even abuse of prescription drugs or over-the-counter drugs is not an automatic bar to getting into the Secret Service. It depends on how old an applicant is and when he or she last used. It's a pretty woke position for a generally buttoned down outfit. The Secret Service does not condone any prior unlawful drug activity by applicants, the website says. But it recognizes that some otherwise qualified applicants may have used or otherwise interacted with illegal drugs at some point in their past. That said, any applicants who currently use illegal drugs will be found to be, quote, unsuitable.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a drug test.
I would hope so.
Ladies, don't get your hopes up. It's still a dude's world. In 1971, Laurie Anderson, Sue Baker, Catherine Clark, Holly Huffschmidt, and Phyllis Shantz. And if I'm mispronouncing any of these names, I sincerely apologize. I do not mean any disrespect. These ladies became the first 5 women special agents. But it wasn't until 2013 that the first female, Julia A. Pearson, was appointed to lead the agency. She became the 23rd director of the Secret Service, March 27, 2013. But of the more than 7,000 employees today, fewer than a quarter are women. The service insists, though, that it's trying. Approximately 24% of Secret Service employees are women, the Secret Service spokesperson says. The Secret Service is continually and actively recruiting to ensure a diverse mix of employees. Part of these efforts include visiting colleges, hosting information sessions, and participating in career fairs. I actually have, these are short little facts, but I have 37 interesting facts.
Go for it.
The Secret Service agent who saved Ronald Reagan's life had been inspired to join the service by a 1939 film that starred Ronald Reagan as a Secret Service agent.
Since you brought up Reagan, I'm going to bring up the facts I have on Hinckley himself.
Okay.
Hinckley was granted conditional release in 2016 after 30 years in a psychiatric hospital. He was required to live with his mother in Virginia, perform volunteer work, and record his browser history. That was in 2016. In 2022, Hinckley was granted unconditional release after a federal judge ruled that he was mentally stable. I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing that Hinckley was mentally stable after spending 30 years in a psychiatric hospital. I have a hard time.
Yeah, there should have still been a condition you stay on your medication.
You know, unconditional, and it was in 2022. So, you know, we don't know who appointed that particular judge. But, you know, I just found that a little odd that he was granted unconditional release after a federal judge found him mentally stable. I don't know. I'm a little hard-pressed to believe that one.
I'm guessing this next one was actually in the White House.
Okay.
Because he had a little bit of privacy.
Oh.
While at the toilet, President Carter hit a secret panic button, thinking it was a flush toilet button.
Oh, no.
And the Secret Service responded by bursting into the room while the president was still zipping up his trousers.
Lovely.
Well, at least he had gotten them up and was zipping them, and hopefully he had them back to the door.
Oh, I hope so. Thought it was a flush button. Okay.
All presidents and first ladies have Secret Service protection for life, and further, that any children of former presidents get Secret Service protection until they turn 16.
Actually, that has been changed.
Ah.
I am looking for the note on that now. But yes, as of it's giving me all the list of directors. The former President Protection Agency 2012 reversed a previous law that limited Secret Service protection for former presidents and their families to 10 years. This was in 2013, to 10 years if they served after 1997. The former President George W. Bush and future former president future former presidents will receive Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. Children of former presidents up to the age of, what did you say, 16? 16, yeah, are assured protection under the new law. That actually went into effect in 2013.
Where was the 10 years?
The 10-year was the former president, the former president's Protection Act of 2012 reversed a previous law that limited Secret Service protection for former presidents and their families to 10 years.
So what I said was correct.
Yeah.
It had been to 10 years. Now it's for life, and the children get to age 16.
Yeah. Okay. I misunderstood what you were saying. That was on me.
No
but yeah, that actually went into effect in 2013.
Turns out John F. Kennedy might have had a little bit of a inkling or premonition of something.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Of his unaliving?
No.
Oh, okay.
Something with Aristotle.
Really? Okay.
John F. Kennedy told the Secret Service to keep Jackie away from the shipping tycoon Aristotle Onassis. After Kennedy's death, she married Aristotle Onassis.
Yeah. She wanted, I bet you, yeah. Well, you know, that wouldn't surprise me either, considering that Jackie probably figured good for the goose is good for the gander after her discovering the whole Marilyn Monroe thing.
Yeah, I mean, there is that possibility.
You know, I mean, and I'm sure that Marilyn wasn't the only one, but I don't know.
Well, as we've discussed, the United States Secret Service's first and main mission was to fight counterfeiting of U.S. currency. The existence of the Australian Secret Intelligence Service was kept secret for over 20 years, even from the rest of the government. Now, granted, that's not American, but that's listed in this.
Right. Huh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are just a few of the more unusual facts, and we do hope that you have found this to be interesting. We're going to go ahead and close out the show. I am actually losing my voice as we go through the show. Allergies are acting up, so I apologize.
There's one more. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lyndon B. Johnson,
LBJ.
the 36th U.S. president.
The president to take over after Kennedy was shot, by the way.
He actually once ordered a Secret Service agent to stand in front of him so he could urinate on the sidewalk. After a few seconds, the agent said, "Sir, you're pissing on my leg."
Oh,
to
no.
which Johnson responded, "That's all right, son. That's my prerogative."
Ooh. No, sorry, it's not. I'm sorry. No, I don't think so. Wow. That shows you exactly what LBJ thought of.
Well, then there's the little tidbit about Yeltsin.
Go ahead.
During a visit to Washington, D.C. in 1995, Russian President Boris Yeltsin was found by a Secret Service agent, or found by Secret Service agents, in only his underwear on Pennsylvania Avenue, trying to hail a taxi.
Got a little deep in his cups, did he?
Maybe had a little too much vodka.
Got a little deep in his cups. Yes. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with that image of Boris Yeltsin with the big red scar on his forehead, or the big red birthmark on his forehead.
No, that wasn't Yeltsin.
No, that was Gorbachev. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I keep picturing him in the underwear and the big hat.
Yeah.
Holding a Russian furry hat.
Holding a bottle of vodka in just his drawers on Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to leave y'all with that thought. So we hope you found this interesting.
Let that image sink into your brain and send you off to sleep tonight.
That's right. That is the image we want to leave you good people with. Okay. And we will say that, as we often say, we do appreciate you being here and spending your time with us. You'll have to forgive me again. I am losing my voice as this is going on. We will see you again next Wednesday. We do not have a topic picked out yet,
don't.
but we are willing to take suggestions at celticmutt1970@gmail.com. Just put in the header, put in show suggestion, and as long as it is something pertaining to this great country, we will consider it. Many people are several. I won't say many, but I will say several.
Yes. Who we love dearly.
Yes. And I believe even Mac had made a suggestion for a show not too long ago.
Yeah.
So we do take in your suggestions and consider them, and 9 times out of 10, we'll use them for a show.
As long as they meet our qualifications of staying within the nation.
Yep. That's pretty much the only qualification we have. Please take care of yourselves. This past couple of weeks has been crazy, and we do know that. And I'm going to give Mrs. Mutt, who has pretty much carried this whole show tonight, the final word.
Have fun storming the castle!